Well, hello there, and welcome, folks, back to Hot Springs Island. We are +1 stony friend now. Well, hello there.
Hello there.
Quick reminder, we now have a super simp golem following you guys around.
Now, yes, the super simp column. Let me quickly add my suddenly remembered tool proficiency.
I added that for you. You said it was Jewel Kit, correct?
I also need to, I'm going to slightly edit my cantrips to add a second die for the +4.
I did that too.
Possible.
I got you.
Did you?
If you want to test it, go for it. Throw me some lightning. That's a lot of damage. That rolled really high. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a wasted roll.
Oh my god, 19 and a 23 in the roll?
I'm keeping that for the first encounter.
Just shove that in your pocket.
Yeah.
Alrighty, now that we have a friend following us, where shall we head to next?
It was going to lead us to the secret chamber, right?
You guys asked it if it knew the password. He said, yeah, he's got all the passwords.
All right.
Is that where we are indeed headed?
I guess so. I want to check out other rooms. Lead us to the room.
All right, I will bring you guys first to the second floor just to double test this is working, and I'm pretty sure it is. Alrighty, as there's nothing really on floor Uno, we don't really need to worry about it too much. Do you want him leading the way, or do you want to lead the way and have him be like next to you?
He can lead the way. I mean, I don't know where the secret room is. I am going to have to make the two of them invisible again, though. Assume we
Are we going
go through that room.
I mean, if we just briefly pass through, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he's going to go on that room is the issue. Like, I can check.
He'll take as long or as little as you need. If you guys want to pre-invisible, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'm going to make the two of them wait for a second and follow and see where he goes.
Alrighty, and with that, he just really casually walks on through, heads on into the third floor, has a look around real quick, gives a quick bow to the four guardians, who seem a bit more active now. They're more cognizant of their surroundings. They seemed very out of it before, Lekka. They were looking at you, but they were kind of just like, ooh, like very much in a haze. But now they seem more focused, as if they're awake. But he doesn't wait. He just kind of, as long as you're ready, he turns to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go through and then tell him to wait for a second. And then go back and, yeah, I'm going to tell Sarabi, like, do you want to run through or do you want me to invisible you?
Say this well, Salt, let's just run through.
All right, as you guys begin running through, it almost instantly reacts to you, Sarabi, and they do begin moving, but you guys are seemingly able to go through portal just fine. And with that, we're back on the fourth floor. And he has a look around and says, this place has definitely seen better days.
Yes, it has. Needs some upkeep.
Indeed, indeed. Then looking about, it glances over the statue in the center. Were you having issues with this?
Is this the entrance to the secret 6th floor?
If you were intending to rise to the top, then yes, this would indeed be the way to get in. Have you not the password?
No. I mean, you said you had the password, right?
Indeed I do, my lord. If all of you would stand back, I can get this taken care of in just a moment. And with that, the herald walks on up to the massive glory statue.
I swear, if he's just going to start beating the shit out of it.
Sits there for but a moment and waits. You can sort of feel like a humming and a ringing, a light chiming sound begins to emanate from the golem. And you can kind of just hear just various very pleasant sounds. It takes a moment, almost as if it's trying to find the rhythm. But when it does, you can hear it reverberate from off the statue. And it opens its mouth after having begun this little rhythmic beat. And you can hear it say, a dance tune fast enough to break your legs. A woman engulfed in handcrafted burns, baked in a glaze from white clay, that rudely inked. Endlessly carving pebbles with a pin. Fears, teeth, and attacks all smiles instantly. As he finishes, the statue clicks and clicks again. And suddenly, you see it begin to rise. The chiming stops from the statue and slowly dies down from the golem in front of you. And as it all does, a massive portal, surprise, surprise, then reveals itself from under the statue. The statue went up about 10 feet, so this portal, very similar to the others, is silver in color and is approximately the same height. The golem turns to all of you and says, is this what you required?
I think it is, yes.
We would have never guessed that password.
That's an incredibly long password, yeah.
It changes with time. More so the chime is what you desire.
Interesting.
Ah, I see your servant will head in first.
Oh boy, I hope she didn't die.
Wonderful. Will the other be going in as well? Aldrin kind of gives him a look and just, then falls on in, and he looks to you and says, ah, to serve so wonderfully as they do, It's good they care for you.
Yes, they are good servants.
He gives a nod to that and then heads in before you do, just to make sure everything is A-okay. And with that, the same sensation strikes us all as we sneak on into, presumably, the final area. And to quickly go over things, because I believe you've seen most of this before, the first thing we walk out of is a massive silver arch. And just up ahead, you guys see various glass walls, like tubes, that are currently empty. There is no dust inside or outside them. They're on pedestals that are made of lapis, and around them, there's about 14 or so wooden crates. If you were to poke around in them, some of the tops are already open. They're seemingly just full of straw as of now.
I start poking in them.
All right, you find lots of straw. You do be
straw.
old, though.
Is it moldy?
Straw.
It's a little nasty, but strangely enough, there is no dust.
I mean, if it's like 3,000-year-old, it should be more less than dust.
Should be,
less
yes.
than mold, at least.
Indeed, yeah. And the golem just looking around the room like, wonderful, wonderful. You guys are effectively in what seems to be an observatory. Looking to your left is a large chair. Far to your left is a broken telescope. And there are various smaller chairs. They look kind of like a theater in a way. And they're all facing the center.
I want to go over to the telescope.
Sure.
I'm going to ask the golem, what exactly is this place?
To my knowledge, this would be the observatory. The final and top room of the, well, Lapis Observatory.
Say it like there's more of these observatories.
There might be. Unfortunately, I am only aware of this one.
It's too bad.
Indeed. But I should have anything you need or any answers that you require. Please feel free to ask me if you need anything at all.
I have a lot of questions, but I'm sure we can do that after we look around for a bit.
But of course, my patience is infinite for you, sir.
Good.
And he's following you maybe a little too close, but everywhere you go, he goes.
And then fine.
Looking to the bottom corner there, as you kind of head on down there, Sarabi, a lot of these chairs have definitely seen better days. But this place is weirdly clean. No windows, nothing broken necessarily. Aldous obviously has his light, so that is assisting us quite a bit. The golem, he kind of pulls his hand forward and then something retracts from out of his palm, and it also provides you some light of where you're currently located. Otherwise, this place is quite dark. Looking down here, though, you see what seems to be a disassembled telescope. It looks both broken and in, well, pretty horrible disrepair, if I'm being honest. It is about 20 feet long. It's resting on the floor as of current, so there's nothing under it. It's just kind of flopped down on there. There are runes on it, but they're all scratched up. It looks like it would connect to something else. Besides the tool chest next to it and other various crates, it's just kind of in a really sorry state of disrepair right now.
From age, or does it look like it was destroyed on purpose?
This actually looks like someone intentionally disassembled it.
Can I tell what it would have been looking at?
What do you mean exactly? Like what it was used for?
Like which direction it would have been pointed. Like, is it pointed towards space or would it be pointed across the island?
It could probably be used for both, realistically. It's not that large. It's actually weirdly small. It's only, like I said, it's only 20 feet. For how large this place is, that's kind of tiny.
Okay.
It might be magical, so you know.
And like I said, it's surrounded in crates. Some have straw, but there are things inside these crates. They're not empty.
Oh, I will poke those crates.
Through the crates, most of them are rectangular in shape. You find mirrors, multiple mirrors, that are approximately 18 feet tall. They are huge mirrors, actually. Digging around in one of the crates, your hand bumps something metal, and you instantly start hearing the ringing of a bell, and it just kind of keeps ringing and doesn't stop ringing, even after you finish touching it.
Does anything move?
You definitely bumped into what seems to be a bell, about the average size of like a dinner bell. There seem to be two of them in the smaller crate, and the rest of them seem to contain various gears and such that were probably used for this telescope and others. All of them entirely made of gold. Gold gears, tubes, mechanical parts, and then next to the tool chest, you see, I don't really call it a crate, it's more of like a little box. In that you see some sheet music.
All right, well, that's to be expected. This looks like a orchestrion stage or something.
This is definitely used for putting on some form of show. All of the chairs are tilted to face the center of the room.
I will shove that music into my pocket.
Are you taking the box, or are you shoving the music in, just kind of plopping it in?
I want the music.
Okay. Well, sorry, I mean, are you trying to keep it safe in the box still? You can. It's a small box that only held the sheet music.
Oh, yeah, I'll take the box then.
I mean, can anyone here read sheet music? Or have, like, music proficiency?
I probably can. I don't know how good I can play it, but I'm sure I can read.
Like,
I definitely can't.
If anyone, it would be her. Aldrin, probably. If he stayed in all the time, yeah. He can definitely give it a look. Gotta do something this time.
Does it say anything interesting when I glance over it?
It depends on how much you know about sheet music. There's definitely lots of notes, but would Sarabi be smart enough to know what's complicated and what's not?
I want to say her understanding is basic.
Okay. With a basic understanding of how music is written out, this is quite complex. You can also tell it's unfinished. There are many places that are angrily scribbled out, and the end kind of just peters off. There's also multiple lines and rows written in different, so there's like a language written there. You know, we can probably guess what it is. You don't speak it. Aldrin can point out to you and say, yeah, that's definitely Elvish. And each of them are just different instruments, is basically what he points out. So this seemed to be some sort of a symphony of some variety.
Music from 1,000 years ago is probably really cool.
You like classical music?
Sometime.
Alrighty. And Mr. Lecca, what are you doing?
I think this is more than just classic at this point. Like, I was wondering why this place is both an observatory and what do you call it? Place where you hold orchestras?
Orchestrion Hall?
Orchestrion Hall, I guess.
It's basically a music hall, I guess.
Kind of a weird combination, though. Like,
it's also weird that
looking around the stage.
Well, yeah, it's also weird that the thing seems to be sabotaged.
Yeah.
Looking about on this stage,
I'm just looking around the stage, and I guess I have sent Daniel to, like, I don't know, fly over the seats and see if he sees anything shiny.
You see one single thing seated here. It is a massive reclining platinum throne. It has the same abstract tessellations covering it. Various runes and such dance across it. Very faintly.
I'm gonna sit on it, or rather, jump on it.
All right, as you plop yourself onto the star chair, suddenly...
Oh no, it has a name.
You both hear a humming thrum throughout the room, and all the engravings begin to glow much, much more brightly now, and they're dancing across the armrests and the back. This chair is definitely too big for you, but seems to have accepted you all the same.
I mean, does it do anything else aside from glow?
Oh my, your highness. Curtsy.
I do like the beaties.
As you
Thank you, sir.
As you say that, the golem's going to assume you're being serious, and he also bows.
Wow.
Because why would you be sarcastic in the presence of such a great being?
Wow.
I mean, I am technically, the ruler of my clan, because my clan is dead.
Good point.
So, as you take this seat, and the lights begin to dance amongst this chair, the golem hides the light within his hand, and he looks to Aldrin to do the same, and Aldrin kind of gives him a look of like, what? Forcibly, any light that is emanating from you or anywhere in this room begins to dim. And looking about, you can kind of see Aldrin poking at the ring, and it's not out, but it's barely emanating light at this point.
That's some high-level magic.
And looking up to the ceiling, the domed ceiling, you begin to see it fill with stars, and they're plainly visible to everyone in this room.
The same star map we've been seeing on every other floor?
It's very similar, but you can't help but think there's something different about this one.
If I stare long enough, can I tell?
I mean, is it our night sky? Is it nighttime or is it daytime?
Currently for us, it is 4 p.m. This is definitely the night sky. This is like not deep into space, but there's no clouds. There's no interference whatsoever. This is just like pure night sky. But like I said, there's something slightly off, but not in a bad way about it.
I guess I'm gonna try to find like the equivalent of the Northern Star.
Okay. Do you say anything while you're sitting up here, Leica?
I guess I'll be speaking out loud. Let's see, that's the star. Then that should be left, should be the whatever the hell constellation, and the North Star should be there. No, point.
Okay. And as you're recognizing this is indeed our sky, all the words that Leica speaks begin to type themselves out on the ceiling in Elvish, in large, glowing yellow font. Very similar to subtitles. And after a few moments, they fade away.
That's weird.
That's weird.
What does that say, Eldrin?
He looks up and says in Elvish, what does that say, Eldrin?
Huh.
Neat.
Every time you speak, it appears on the ceiling. When you were pointing to the various stars and such, like, were you pointing to them or just like, I guess, mentally pointing them
I was
out?
basically tracing them out with my fingers, yeah.
As you were doing that, we now notice the weird. Moving your hand and kind of tracing and whatnot, it actually moves the night sky, but not in the way you wanted it to. It's jittery, almost as if you've, I don't know, messed with a phone or a tablet that has a really broken touchscreen, kind of that effect.
Jumping back half the time.
Yeah, basically. It's not scrolling the way you want it to, but You 100% moved the image on the ceiling.
I guess he's going to try to hold out 2 hands and see what else he can do with it.
Yeah, as you begin to move your hands around, you can, with your hand gestures, both together, you can probably do it with one, but it's much easier with two, just because it's huge. You can swipe, zoom, rotate, and turn. And looking, you can now see on the right arm, you do not have Comprehend Languages active, correct?
Currently, no.
Okay. Aldrin's able to lean over, and he lets you know that the runes that lit up are basically instructions on how to figure this out, which is, basically what you're doing. Just kind of point out, move your hands around and whatnot, and you can, do quite a bit, actually. He's sitting here kind of reading it. There's a lot going on here.
I'm trying everything he mentions one at a time.
As you do, are you watching, Sarabi?
Absolutely.
The two of you looking up while Aldrin's kind of reading off of this, you get a very quick sense of just vertigo and general sickness, as this thing's kind of hard to control. It definitely needs a practiced hand. Your sight is getting lost up in space. It seems as if it's getting closer and closer, and you can see in a new way, really. It feels entirely foreign to anything you've seen before.
Halfway through, Lekka's gonna, dizzily fall off the chair.
And as you do, the lights reconfigure themselves, and the ceiling goes back to a plain vaulted ceiling.
Well, that was definitely cool.
I would say my turn, but I don't think there's anything I wanted to see, so IDK.
The golem looks to you and says, "Are you satisfied? There is quite a bit you can do in that chair."
Can I do anything else?
Oh, of course. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I don't know. Does it have a manual or something?
Indeed.
Apparently, the chair itself has, functions written on it.
Of course. While somewhat hard to read while not sitting in it, I can definitely decipher it for you. He kind of begins reading down it. Shows you pretty much what you know. Basically, just be careful, kind of take your time. Even though you know how to activate it, you need to be gentle with it, basically. Don't zoom too quick, don't turn it too quick. But he lets you know, he shows you, you can basically go through space with this thing. It is completely three-dimensional as you go further and further in. And he shows you off to the side how, if you wish, you can basically flip the map to look at different populated planes of existence. And it lets you basically check portal history and such.
Can I look at the island?
That is a wonderful question. I'm not entirely sure you can. To my knowledge, it's only meant to look at the star sky and peer into other planes.
Aw, damn it. I was going to jump on it and see if I could see Kiara.
Oh, you wish to see our planet?
Yeah?
While you cannot see in great detail, you should be able to look at various things.
Ooh, I jump onto it.
All right, as you jump onto it, the herald moves away ever so slightly. The lights dim again, and once again, the night sky greets you. Reset in the same way it was before. Presumably, this is how the night sky should look, were you to look straight up from this location.
How do I zoom into our planet on the ground?
You just kind of move like this.
I'll move like that.
All right, as you kind of begin to shift and move things around, Aldrin kind of points to the other side and he basically shows you there's a way to flip it to plane mode. Currently, we're just looking into space, but yeah, if you turn it around, you can move back to Alcestria and kind of see what's going on the planet. It is, like I mentioned, very low poly, effectively. It's just basic information.
So I can't get close enough to see how she is?
You can't see any one in particular, but you can zoom into the various continents, islands, things of that nature. It does give general bits of information.
At this point, you definitely see the massive storm hanging over us,
Storm?
The big, bad, evil thing that I was running the hell away from.
Yeah.
You should be able to see something from that area, potentially.
Yeah. Your sister would be there.
Yeah, the big
Damn it, not
black
good enough.
wiggling thing right there.
Yeah, it's current, so you can also see, all the different continents. You can see Corellia, that shitstorm that's going on over there. It's not really live. It's more like a picture, but you know what each thing is as you see it. There's also kind of a general population.
Wait, you can see Corellia?
You can see the shitstorm that would have been Corellia, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've been there before.
It's kind of like a purple cloud.
Quick question. Are there maps of the entire planet?
I mean, there's plenty of sailors going around with, mapping stuff.
Yeah, I mean, are there maps of, what the continents look like from an eagle eye view?
They're not perfect, but yeah.
Would it be worth my time to sketch one?
Honestly, why not?
If it's accurate, then probably yes. Lekka would buy it from you.
I will sketch one.
It'll definitely take some time, but you're more than welcome to do that.
I have time. I don't know about anyone else.
I mean, we're probably staying here for a while anyway, looking around.
Okay. Are you sketching singular continents or the whole thing?
Whole thing.
Okay.
World map.
That'll definitely take you a hot second, but you're more than welcome to do so. Are you looking for anything in particular, or you just want a general, like, here's this, here's this, here's that?
I just want a general, here's this, here's that, but I want it like all the curves to be as accurate as possible, assuming I can see that much detail, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zooming into like towns or cities, you don't really see people. It's more just like blurs, and you're given information on like population and such.
Ooh, that's useful.
Yeah, that's useful. I'll notate that.
Now, I will say it is generalized. So it's like, yes, the entire continent of this place, wherever it may be, is, Shun Hill, just populations. You can't zoom into like individual towns, it won't tell you. But if it's like a single mass, it'll tell you there are like X million people here, or whatever.
Okay.
All right, anything else you're looking for?
There's people there? I thought it was deserted.
Shun Hill is a desert, but not deserted. Corellia should be deserted.
No, I mean a random different continent.
Oh, yes.
Like I was just watching her work at this point.
So this will indeed take a fair amount of time. Do you want to do anything while she's sketching, Lekka?
I mean, assuming Daniel didn't find anything.
Let's have a look.
And he was flying around.
Alrighty, it seems he found an ornate golden box. It was tucked under one of the chairs.
Oh, it's ornate and golden.
Lots of things here are gold, so that tracks.
Yeah. So is there any writing on it, or just like, I don't know, inlaid thingies?
Well, I'm sure this will surprise you, but it's engraved with surprise, runes. Both nude and partially nude figures fighting in martial combat with various weapons and such. Each of them have...
That's different from having sex, I guess.
It is, yeah. I mean, this might be their sex, who knows? Won't kink shame them. Each figure has a spiral tattoo on their right or left forearm.
I wonder what that means.
Is it something we've seen before?
Not you've seen before, no.
And they look elvish, right?
Very much so, yeah. All these figures in particular are elvish. There's no dwarves in this one.
And the runes were writing, or was it just simple?
They're incredibly simple, like very, very, very simple. Just a few words, and some of them are just there for like aesthetic reasons, effectively, to denote like what this is.
Eldrin, what does it read?
It kind of gives it a look, and not 100% sure if the translation's perfect, but something along the lines of like bladed scars.
It's weird. I'll ask the golem. Do you know what's bladed scars?
Ah, what a wonderful thing you have found. Would you care to open it, sire? It shall answer all your questions.
Sure, I'll open it, I guess.
The golem nods.
Take a step back.
Yeah. It's not too big. As you kind of pop the box open, there are 6 belt-shaped strips of flesh, just in a row. Each of them, still somewhat bloody somehow, are branded with elvish runes. And he points to each one and says, these here say longsword. The 2 in the middle say short sword. And the 2 smaller ones at the end say dagger.
All right. What exactly do they do?
Well, if one were to need to sneak a weapon in somewhere, these would suffice. They are quite simple, truly. Tall one, would you mind coming over here? We can show it to you if you'd like. And Aldrin's like, okay.
I'll just shrug. Just do what it says, I guess.
All right, kind of gives it a nod. He pulls out you'll grab the longer one. He'll hold on to this strip of flesh, and it's not dripping blood, but it looks relatively fresh somehow. And he's using his gloves to hold it because that's just kind of nasty looking. And after a second, it wriggles and then wiggles again, and then kind of rapidly flips up like a dead fish or dying fish up around Aldrin's wrist, and he kind of like let's go for a second. But as he does, it comes to life and very quickly shoots up his right arm, burrowing under his clothing. And Aldrin kind of slapping at his skin. The golem's like, no, wait. This is all fine. This is precisely what's supposed to happen. And Aldrin's giving a look of like, how dare you? You guys hear somewhat of a burning as he kind of winces for a second and quickly pulls his shirt up and kind of tries to remove his armor in a way. You can now see this chunk of flesh has spiraled around his arm. It looks as if it's like fused into it, the fleshy side down. So the elf skin is pointing outward, and it begins to sort of glow this like orangish color. And he's just looking at this like chunk of flesh on his arm and looks at the golem like, okay.
Time to cut off my hand.
The golem
We can fix that, it's fine.
shows Aldrin with a flick of his wrist, basically, do this. And Aldrin slowly just, okay, flicks his wrist out. And with that, suddenly a long silver blade seemingly appears out of nowhere, which Aldrin is now suddenly holding. And it shimmers in what little light we have. The runes on the strip are no longer glowing. And he looks at it and goes like, okay. And then the golem says, were you to flick your wrist again, it will become inactive. Also, if you leave the weapon inactive, or you drop it or lose it in some way, shape, or form, which I assume happens quite frequently with you, it will come back to you after 10 minutes.
That's useful.
Asshole.
Quite useful, yes.
Does it have any, I don't know, detrimental effects?
Not to my knowledge, no. It will eventually fuse into your arm and become your own skin. Unless you are deathly allergic to elvish flesh, you should be just fine.
Honestly, I'm not sure if it will work on me anyway, with my, holding his hands out.
Oh, sir, I'm sure you'll be perfectly fine. I mean, look at you.
Yeah, that's true. I am perfect.
Exactly. You could only make this flesh more perfect.
Looking at Eldrin, and how do you get it off?
Why would you want to do that?
I mean, maybe I want to sell it.
Ah, this is true. I'm not entirely sure it can be removed. Let me think. And he kind of looks over to the box and tries to, check over the runic inscriptions and such. And kind of, it says here if you tear it off, which will be incredibly painful, as long as within, the first hour or so, you should be just fine. And with that, Aldrin just starts, just slowly unraveling it from his arm. It takes a very healthy amount of flesh and, hair, obviously. It takes the first 2 layers of skin with it. So Aldrin's right arm is now bleeding quite a bit. And he just kind of...
Don't worry, I'll heal it.
Slowly hands it out and just lets the strip of flesh just fall back into the box.
I'm so glad I was not the one that tested it.
But yes, sell it if you wish. The box should be worth quite a pretty penny. Sell it to a rogue or some other variant of individual.
I'm sure it'll come in handy, yeah?
Most definitely, yes.
I assume none of us want a secret hidden blade fused in our skin.
No thanks.
I'm not sure how Eldrin would react to that.
Just kind of the look of this is my life. This is how things go. Adventure.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some people that would like this. It's definitely useful.
Oh, definitely.
I'm sure it'll be worth a lot.
Yeah, like I said, the weapons are silver, so they're high quality silver.
Yeah. But a silvered weapon's nice.
Yes. Also, Sarabi, I'd say by this point you're probably mostly done with the sketch. In reality, this would probably take quite some time, but we can speed it up just a wee bit. Would you be interested in looking at anything else? You can tell there's definitely a lot of information here, a lot.
Would you be able to use her magic pen for this? For drawing?
Not for drawing, for information for text only. So realistically, you could have it as you're drawing. You can have it write down the current populations, even though they're changing. As long as you can split your mind, you're thinking about it.
Did you say that I can use this telescope thing for other info?
You can use this chair for other things. Like I said, there's a lot of information. The star chair reveals a lot.
I mean, like what?
That's what you want to know. With the information I told you, would you be interested in looking at anything else? Basically, you can see into space. You can see various different planes. There's a list of places that were teleported to, teleported away from, like a history, if anything.
Daniel gets excited. He wants you to look at the plane of air.
Okay, show me the plane of air.
All right. Although you know the instructions, it's still relatively difficult to get this to work. The golem moves over and looks down at you, Sarabi, as you're zooming in, zooming out, and kind of getting sick and slowly turning it. The golem looks to you, and says, "Shall I give assistance to your servant?"
If you can, sure.
Wonderful. Servant girl, do you require assistance?
No.
Just go with it.
Call me Sarabi.
Yes, call us Sarabi.
Of course, my king. Sarabi, do you require assistance?
Yes, please.
At once. And very slowly, he kind of shows you as he moves around you, all right, you need to move your arms in this really kind of slow way, kind of in an arc here. If you do a full circle, it'll pull you from the star map over to basically the plane map. I almost said planular map? What? Over to the plane map. And then you can see they're basically discs, literal planes, and you can see them all ordered from top to bottom. And you can kind of basically point at the one you want and then open your hand and it will effectively zoom into that plane. He shows you that the third one down is air.
Is that for elephants below it? And a massive turtle? What?
He's dying of sneezing.
I heard.
Turtles all the way down. But yes, do you do this, Sarabi?
Yes.
All right. And as you do, it indeed shows, as I mentioned, a relatively vague representation of the plane of air. Also, as mentioned before, there's tons of information here. Types of population. You can see various elves have visited here, but not here too much because the plane of air is, quite violent. But we can see, various bits of information and stuff that's really hard to kind of parse visually, at least. But Daniel seems very excited. He's flying in circles and he's ooh, nice. He's on your shoulder.
Daniel's squawking, pointing this direction and pointing that direction. Like is going, oh, yes, okay. Oh, so you came from there. You were born there. Oh, and your siblings live over there.
He's trying Trying to like shake Sarabi, like, no, turn it that way.
I will try.
Is that a McDonald's? Didn't know you had those.
Whoa, what?
Because you look like, of course.
I mean, I don't know.
You can also see basic survivability requirements. Plane of air, pretty obvious. It helps to be able to fly and or have resistances to, wind, lightning, things of that nature. Not to just, get completely...
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe in about, I don't know, 15 levels I'll go there.
Nod. Something else you also noticed, and you noticed it from... Maybe you weren't necessarily sure if it was part of the commands or part of the UI, if you will. But coming off of our planet, you noticed what maybe looked like roots, like light golden roots with like blue sparkles kind of running through it. And it didn't necessarily pierce our planet, but it was in a way sort of wrapped around it and then arcing around the sphere into the core.
Can I zoom into that?
It was very faint. You can see that same thing is also coming off from each of these planes. They're like golden strands with light blue glitter stars, however it looks to you, realistically.
What happens if I zoom way out?
Are you on the planar side or the star side?
Planar, I think.
Where did I see these roots? Planar side or star side?
Both.
Well, then I'll just zoom out of whichever one I'm in currently.
Are those the portals you were talking about? The licks?
You can see that a lot of them do indeed cross, and the golem nods and says, I'm not precisely sure what those are. We spent quite a bit of research in order to determine what they are, but let's say, something happened before we were able to finish our research.
We noticed that.
I do believe that is what connects all of the planes together. The connection to our plane is rather thin, though. You can see the histories here, and he kind of points up to the side, and you can see that many elementals were pulled from these various planes at one point in time.
That's weird. When did you come here, Daniel?
Come to, like, this, our planet, you mean?
I mean, I'm sure he doesn't understand, like, time anyway, so...
Yeah, it just kind of like, a while back. Very much a bird shrug.
Is there, like, do you have research materials on what you were looking with this weird shiny stuff?
I personally do not, but I do believe they stored most, if not all of it, in the city. That is where all the experiments took place, after all.
The city.
The city southwest of here?
Correct. And then he kind of points around and says, right there, I do believe was possibly mentioned, the mistress of Party. That would be her plane there.
Ooh, I zoom in.
All right. I wonder what happened to her.
Looks familiar. That's basically hell.
Ooh. Can I find the plane where Kitsune's came from originally?
Which layer of hell? All of them?
I haven't done my hell layer research, but you can effectively see, like I said, really, really general information about each of them. And interestingly, on each of these planes, there's also an elf, I don't want to say kill count, but there's basically how many elves have died going here, and there's quite a few. So, some of these planes, like the plane of air, there's like 8 that died, probably because they're like, yeah, we can't go there. The plane of fire, same, like 10. They just burned. It died instantly. It says how they died. They just were incinerated. Their bodies literally couldn't handle it. They just burst into flames. Water, drowned, etc., etc. Plane of hell, a lot of people died there. A much higher number, a couple hundred.
About the plane of positive energy.
It doesn't look like they messed with that one. Like the Mechanar plane, like a lot of the other ones, we didn't really poke too much. Planes are generally known in this world to like exist, but we don't travel there. Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
You kind of can, but you also kind of can't. It's very difficult. Like,
well, you don't want to, probably.
You also don't want to, yeah. So, like, to get to the fire plane from here, you can't just open a portal. It doesn't work. You need to go somewhere on our planet that's really closely linked to the plane of fire. So, a volcano, somewhere deep in the earth, somewhere hot.
Yeah, makes sense.
Also, high-level wizard, so.
So what you're saying is that this elven god of partying became a elven god of hell.
I do not believe she was an elf, but to my knowledge, she originally came from there, and then came to us, inviting us to party. Lady Hedonia.
And you said you were from hell, Sarabi? Or at least your ancestors were?
Yeah.
Does her description sound familiar to you in any way?
Maybe. Truth be told, we haven't been there in a long time, so sometimes the stories get mixed up.
Yeah, depending on how interested you are in demon politics, a lot of people kind of just hate each other and, attempt to constantly murder each other, so it's not really too weird. Is that something you would have been interested in, Sarabi, or no?
Would she even be alive for that?
Well, this is something she would have heard about, if she's interested in demon drama. And I would actually label this as demon drama.
Actually, yeah, I think I would be.
there were two. I mean, Lady Hedonia was mentioned before. Maybe vaguely you remembered. Roll me history with advantage. See how much you can recall. So, 19. Okay.
Not bad.
Upon racking your brain, you kind of like, oh, yeah, Lady Hedonia. As I mentioned before, she's a Merilith, big old snake lady with a lot of tits and a lot of arms. And she was effectively constantly at war with her on-again, off-again lover named Kilzar. And you know,
name.
yes, you know that she hosted many parties, which probably explains a lot of the elf death here. These weren't, they weren't bringing elves here to kill. They brought elves here to party, and she parties really hard.
Literally parties to death.
Yes. So this number is probably that. To your knowledge, Sarabi, she hates to be bored. She never wants the party to stop, and she always wants to just keep going and keep having fun. She doesn't want to be the center of attention, but she wants to be the facilitator of the niceties.
So she loved this tower when it was fully functioning.
Oh, yeah, she loved this shit.
Hey, this Kilsar, right? Do you think he would, I don't know, crystal bomb her tower?
GM, do I think I should do that?
Does he seem like the kind of guy to do that?
Potentially, but you don't even know if he was aware of this location. He stuck to hell. The plains are obviously, they're ever expanding, and there's a lot of room down there, but people are stupid and want to be continually fighting, so he's more interested in expanding his land, basically. Just what he owns, and it's constantly fighting with her in that aspect, planning more. So he's more so interested in the actual plains of hell rather than our plane, fortunately.
I think probably not. What is the history of portal usage show?
As mentioned before, with the elemental planes, it shows a lot of travel here, and all elements, not just fire, not just the earth ones that we kind of saw roaming around. You saw a lot of elementals were pulled from their plane here.
So then why don't we have any actual elementals?
I mean, the standing one in front of you. Daniel squawks at you.
What am I thinking of? What doesn't exist in this world?
Elementals exist, we just can't speak with them. They don't speak a language we understand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not really a language, it's more something else. Lekka is special in that he can actually understand the emotions Daniel's letting off, but if you were to try to actually talk with Daniel, you're either playing charades or you're listening to a bird squawk. You don't get anything else from him.
Can I view a history of maybe portals to and from this island?
Yes, you can tell that a good portion of those opened plains came here specifically, like to this location.
That's kind of odd, isn't it?
And then in terms of time, you can tell, and it kind of has a history of like times, but time is sort of fluid, so it's a little difficult. It's more like this happened, then this happened, then this happened. How long ago? Difficult to tell. It could be 50 years, could be 100 years. It's kind of up in the air. But you can tell that there was a gap after a whole bunch of elementals were like pulled over. Like maybe some were pulled over for like fun, for partying, who knows. But you can tell this one of the last entries, pulled over a relatively even amount from each, then fewer from fire, because fire was pulled from before, and then they kind of focus on the less, I don't want to say violent, but easier to work with elements.
Interesting.
Still fire, just not quite as many for some reason.
All right, anything else you want to know?
You can look back at the star side if you want.
Sure, what's that tell me?
You said you were looking at those like roots that were digging into Alcestria?
Yes.
Well, you can see that it sort of grows outward and deep into space, deep into space. There are various areas where it kind of phases off into nothing, but the further you follow this thing, the image becomes more and more blurry, almost as if they haven't documented necessarily everything out here. You can see it split off into other directions, but it goes on for quite some time, almost to the point where you maybe get a little bored. You have to like zoom out and then zoom in, you know what I mean? To like macro see what's going on, and it's blurry, but you can see that eventually this line of power, whatever it is, goes from Alcestria to this bright blur. It's difficult to make out precisely what it is. You can try different angles. It's maybe mushroom-like, tree-like in shape, but it's huge. And all the light that was coming from our planet kind of goes up under this shape, this very blurry image. And there's a whole bunch of others, I mean thousands of others, flowing out from under this thing and shooting outward.
Does it look like a tree?
Sort of, yeah. It's a really blurry tree.
Can I sketch a rough draft?
You can, but have you seen the picture of the black hole we took recently?
No.
Have you seen pictures of like really far galaxies?
No.
Okay. Well, it looks like that. So look that up.
Yes, it looks like a black bean with a red You.
Yeah, it's so far it's hard to take in the information because there's so much light in the way. And
Oh, all right. Never mind then.
yeah. No, I mean you can sketch a little something. Like it very much looks like a tree with its roots shooting outward and not going towards Alcestria, going every which way direction. Thousands of them.
Like how common is like the folklore we have in our world basically about like different trees of life, so to speak.
Various societies obviously believe various things depending on where they're from. A lot of people obviously, believe maybe there's there's a massive tree at the center of our planet. Some people believe we are, fed by there's one tree on Alcestria that's been here since it started. It's the very first tree, and that's where all life comes from. A lot of different things. It really depends on who you talk to.
No, but there's like many of them basically.
Yes,
So
definitely.
there's enough that most people would have heard one of those at least.
Oh yeah.
Guess they're right, it was a tree after all. Not much we can do with that information though, but I'm sure there's a bunch of scholars out here that pay lots of money to see this.
AKA the research in that city.
Yes, and this observatory in general is probably, well,
A gold mine.
a literal gold mine.
Well, we gotta figure out how to get off the island easily. So, yeah.
Assuming we can, I don't know, get off at all.
No, it's when and how, no ifs.
Hey Gollum, how do we get off the island?
In the
Used to be
past,
portals supposedly, but
correct. In the past, we would use portals to leave the island. As of current, I do believe there is some form of interference.
Can you
Don't happen
pinpoint
to-
where the interference is coming from?
Currently, I cannot, but I can most definitely assist you.
sure. Let's do that. Can you actually leave this tower?
I am allowed to go wherever I wish, yes.
Hmm.
I am a guide. My job is to leave the tower and show you around.
Wait, can you leave the island then?
Theoretically, yes. When you say leave the island, is there currently something preventing me from doing so?
I mean, the interference apparently.
Does it make it impossible to leave?
Supposedly trying to leave the island right now, well, the only way we have is by boat, will get us eaten.
Understood. This is definitely worth looking into. That sounds horrible.
What?
He says something useful for one.
I guess we can have him walk us around. Actually, can you swim?
He can guide us to the city too.
I am unable to swim. I will sink. I can
Yeah.
walk through a lake if you wish.
No. I mean, we're gonna have to find out how those water portal thingies work. And if you can't swim, well, that's going to be an issue.
I do not tire or need to eat. Therefore, I can walk forever, at any pace.
Yes. For now, it's probably best if you stay in the tower until we come back.
Understood. I will be quite lonely away from you, sire.
Yeah.
You don't want him to guide us through the city? Because that's where we're heading next, right?
Is it? Do we not want to bring the water lady to safety first?
Oh, yes.
And she also wanted to show us like the portals, right?
Yes,
The
I think
deep,
so.
Deep divey holes. How are we gonna do that actually? We only have one of those and she was making more, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's going to make us more.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. I don't know, maybe he can clean up in the meantime or something.
Whatever you request of me, sire, I will do so happily.
Alright. Anything else left in this place?
In terms of things shoved under chairs and such, not really.
Potentially the crates that were still left at number 2, the straw crates. Or quotation mark straw crates.
Yeah, so all the crates at the entrance are seemingly empty. There are some crates near the broken, I almost call it a skylight? What? No. Telescope.
Telescope.
And that are full of golden
Alright.
parts.
Wait, gold. Gold?
Sarabi only grabbed the music. Yeah, there's golden cogs, gears, sheets, there's massive mirrors, there's all this crazy shit. All the mechanical shit that would go into here, all of it is there, just made of gold. So kind of heavy, but
I wonder what it is.
did you want to dig some out and take it with you?
It's probably super heavy, so no.
Okay.
For now, I'm just looking at the telescope and like, I don't know. Is it magical, I guess? I can try to identify it, but see what happens.
It might be, as this one indeed has, realistically, she was sketching for quite some time, so I'd say during that time you probably would have poked with this. It does indeed have runes on it, and you can tell that they were meant to effectively increase the range at which this thing can see, but this one in particular was meant to actually see on the island. Judging by its size, it wouldn't get very far, but the incantation cast on it allows you to see like 10 times further, so you could, as long as you can get a straight-eye shot, you could zoom in uncomfortably close to people, and it would be like perfectly clear.
Oh,
It's definitely too big to fix, right?
Not necessarily too big, but definitely difficult to fix. It's pretty banged
No.
up.
we definitely don't have the tools either.
Yeah, you'd need the tools, the
Or the skill.
know-how, the skills, the people.
I'm sure the people on the mass boat would be able to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Tell her about this place then.
There's got to be someone that knows how.
Actually, considering how much this is worth, I'm sure she would. Well, we can sell it to her. Yeah.
I'd be careful with that because she could just come here and claim it on her own.
Yeah, but at the same time, what are we gonna do with it?
True.
Like, I don't think if we get off the island, we can sell this place. Who knows? Maybe they can fix this up and find out some more. And all the boxes with like the golden random parts.
Yes,
And
it's surrounded.
that springs out.
Springs. Sorry. Yes, there are besides like the 18-foot tall mirror, the bells that just when you hit them, they just kind of keep ringing. Side note, they're still ringing unless you touch them after, Sarabi.
Yes, to try and make them stop.
Okay, if you intended to make them stop, they did stop. But if you were to touch them or bang them in any way, they seem to just ring forever unless requested via force to stop.
I wonder what all this stuff's for.
You can definitely tell the parts were here to replace this thing and to fix it. You'd have at least the general know-how that a machine entirely made of gold is not very smart. Gold's kind of soft.
Yeah,
I don't think this tower cared.
it's also true.
That's probably partly why it's broken.
It doesn't matter if it's practical as long as it looks good.
That's this entire place.
Like or not. And at least we have probably everything to fix it if we can find someone to do it for us. And then
Yes, that is true.
Spy on Svarku.
Alrighty, anything else y'all wanted to poke at while you were here?
No, I think we're done.
I guess we're doing the straw crates on the way out, aren't we?
They are just straw. It's literally just crates full of straw.
That's weird.
Can we tell if it was taken out recently or a long, long time ago?
It was a long time ago. When you as you're kind of looking through them, the herald walks up behind you and says, those were used to store, well, all types of things. Part of the museum, if you will.
Museum?
Yes,
The downstairs one?
correct. The one we passed by not too long ago. We also imported and exported many things. And it seems that they left the empty crates up here.
So, was the museum supposed to hold anything aside from the plants we saw?
To my knowledge, no. It is
Makes
most
sense.
definitely in a state of disrepair, though. It is not supposed to look like that. Quite a shame. It was gorgeous back in the day. Of course, it does not compare to your beauty, sir.
Why, thank you.
Another bow.
Yeah, I really like this guy. I wonder if I can take him with me on my ship.
I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous.
I could use a hand to carry crates.
I'm sure he'd do anything for you.
Yeah, I think he would, yeah. I wonder how expensive it is to maintain him. Actually, wait, that's a stupid question. He's been alive, I guess, for 3,000 years and hasn't needed any maintenance.
I suppose the real question is how does he handle weather?
I can keep the rain off of him. That's easy enough.
All right, do you hop out of the chair and move on, Sarabi?
Yes.
As you do, all the lights return, and the star map fades. Where to next?
Back to Daphnia.
Downstairs.
As you head through the silver portal, you see one of the guardians looking about this room, like as you head through.
I quickly step back and stop whoever is coming after me.
All right, you see both Sarabi and Aldrin. They're like, what?
There's one of the guardians down there.
Oh, dear God. Wait, you came back up top?
Yeah, I jumped
What do
in
you
the sparkle the moment I saw the thing.
It followed us?
I think so. Maybe.
What?
Yeah, it's fine. I can just make you invisible again. But, I wanted to check out the dryad tree before we went there.
I mean, then I guess invisible it is, and you'll have to lie to the Guardian to go back to where she belongs.
Yeah, for now. Honestly, she'll probably go back to where she belongs eventually.
Hopefully.
Anyway, I'll prep my level 3 invisibility.
Leica heads through the silver portal, sees one of the guardians kind of roaming about, not looking at the portal, it's looking outward. And he stops both Sarabi and Aldrin before you guys can fully come through. How do you respond, Sarabi?
What? Why?
Shrug? I don't know. Probably still looking for you.
Why does it hate me so? I want to kill it.
I mean, you aren't like, I don't know, Brood of Killzall, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You aren't like Brood of Killzall, right? That would explain why they hate you.
I don't think so.
Shrug. Well, we can either, I don't know, destroy it or run past it, I guess.
Well, you wanted to look at that thing, right?
Yeah, but I don't have issues with the thing. I can stay around.
So make us invisible again.
Sure.
All right, perfect. Then last for an hour.
Yes, as long as I don't get hit at least. So let's hope that
Excellent.
doesn't happen.
All right. You phase on back through.
And I'm going to assume that this big tree is the one with the dryad. And I hope the tentacles don't come for me.
It indeed is. The weeds are all around it, though. They've long sucked any moisture from this tree. As you guys all kind of move on through the portal, it makes a humming sound, and each time it does, the Guardian turns and looks directly at the portal. The Guardian looks to you, Leica, and stares at you for a few seconds longer than you'd probably
I'm going to ignore it and act like nothing is going on.
It only stares at you for 10 seconds, and then looks away.
I don't know. I wonder if there are any like life left in this tree at all. Can I roll something for that with my? I guess my realism kit, right?
Yeah.
14.
You can tell that this thing has been long drained of life.
Dryad is probably dead as well then.
If there was a dryad here, it's either somewhere in the trunk of this thing, or it's long gone, long dead.
Do they hibernate?
They've been known to, yeah.
I mean, I know that if that tree dies, they also die.
They should die,
believe.
yeah. So if it's
Yeah.
somehow still hanging on just barely,
Yes.
it would be in a very, very perilous state.
I guess I'll like, I don't know, shout at the tree. Hey, you still alive in there? Assuming I don't get a response, I'll just like shrug and, too bad. Walk away.
Your words just echo off the walls. Doesn't seem to respond, unfortunately.
We don't have any water, do we? Actually, I still need to get rid of this.
Your infinite water thing.
This is also true, but it's hot water though. Is it good for plants?
I mean, it's probably better than nothing at this point.
Also, keep it down. We don't want the thing to hear you.
Oh, right. Shh.
I can just act like I'm talking to Daniel. It's fine.
The golem's here,
True. Also true.
and the
So,
guardian did not respond to the golem at all.
Is there anything you can tell us about these roots, Gollum? Actually, do you have a name, Gollum?
You may refer to me as the Herald.
Slightly ominous. All right, Harold.
If that suffices, you may call me that.
Anything you could tell us about these roots, vines, things?
Do you mean the ones that are seemingly sapping the life of everything around them?
Yes, those ones specifically.
That is a wonderful question. Allow me to check. He leans forward and takes a real solid look at them. And as he does, picks one up a bit, barely even responds to him whatsoever. And he kind of drops the gray ropey vine, and one of the crystals kind of cracks as it hits the floor, and he goes, "Ah, yes. I do believe we've referred to these as salt vines.
Salt vines.
Is that because they produce salt or eat salt?
I do believe a little bit of both. They are not from this plane. They were pulled in, and it looks as if, well, this one has become overgrown. They absorb water, humidity, produce salt.
Well, that definitely explains why everything is dead here.
Indeed, if controlled properly, these actually function quite well in a library.
In a library?
Correct. It keeps moisture away from the books.
Makes a lot of sense, actually.
Can I take a cutting?
This one's quite large and responds violently if you get close to it, so you can try.
I mean, I could have the Gollum do it for her, I guess.
Ooh, yeah.
Of course, do you have something to put it in?
We have, tons of vials.
Sure.
Should have, yeah.
Yeah, he digs around a bit, cuts one off, turns to you, Robbie, and says, "Will this suffice?"
Yes, and please tell me how to take care of it.
But of course, I am not entirely sure if this one in particular will live for long, but as long as you handle it with care and find some time, you should be okay. Just plant it somewhere where you can watch it.
I'll like pull out the seed dish that I have and like, can you put it in here? Does it work?
Ah, if we had a seed, that would work perfectly. I can look for one if you wish.
I mean, sure. They don't
Okay.
seem to respond to you, so.
He just walks on through. They don't respond to him at all. And looking about, he kind of comes to like a cluster of one. And he kind of, there it is. And he bends over and digs around a bit, and then heads back on over. And he hands you 3 seeds like it.
Sure, I'll put one of them in like the seed dish that I had.
He nods that and says, "Be most careful as and not let it fall out. But that should be quite useful for us in the future."
In case I don't know, need to try a library. Assuming this one grows, I can give it to you once it's stable, I guess.
Oh, thank you.
Not that you would allow it to grow out of control, Lekka, but I will push the warning to please be incredibly careful with this plant.
Yes. I wouldn't want it to end up like, well, this place, I guess.
Yeah, we can see what'll happen if we lose control.
Indeed.
How do we, I don't know, properly maintain it, keep it in check? Do we just cut it off?
Correct. If you trim it and just ensure it does not grow too large, it will not, well, he just kind of motions to the room. I do believe, or we believed, they shared some connection to their original plane.
Which plane was that?
I believe it should have been the plane of Earth, most likely, constantly thirsty for any form of moisture.
That makes sense.
These plants are indeed quite deadly. For one of you to fall in, it could completely consume you in the matter of hours.
I believe that.
Honestly, someone should really trim this one.
It would take quite some time, but I could if you wish.
I mean, while we're away, might as well.
He gives a nod and just says, "Let me know and I will begin work as quickly as possible."
What about the glowy stuff on the opposite side?
He is on over to the western side. Says, those should not be any form of worry.
What are they?
I assume those are from the plane of fire.
Indeed, those are ember corals.
If you kill the vines, won't those things take over the entire top floor?
Lekka, that was very smart for you to tell her that. Thank you for sharing, Sarabi. A good observation, one might say.
I'm gonna scoff.
I'm
And
just
he
snickering.
sort of bows and smiles at it and says, "You are quite correct. I will point again. It will take me quite some time to deal with this, but I most definitely can. In terms of,
How long is quite some time?
depends on my rate of work, and if I am working alone, which most likely I will be. It should take me a day or so to completely clean everything up. I will do my best to dispose of these salt vines, as even when trimmed, it most likely still pull moisture from you. And beings such as yourself, I assume it's quite bad to lose your hand.
Very.
That does seem most inconvenient.
I do like my moisture, yeah.
You do seem incredibly moist, Sir Lekka. Easily the most moist person in the room.
Oh my
Nodding.
god.
Truly, your moisture knows no bounds. As he turns to the guardian golem and says, "Would you not agree?" And it's just looking over the two of you and just kind of
I hide behind the golem.
the golem kind of like gets in the way a little bit,
Oh, how nice!
and it moves on over and says,
Have you seen any interlopers
What, like recently or?
recently?
Interlopers, no.
it turns to the golem.
Honestly, it's been kind of dead in this place. But yeah, well,
Pun intended.
The golem motions to you, and motions says, "If my lord says he has seen nothing, then unfortunately, my fair lady, we have indeed seen nothing." And she kind of makes this like hissing noise and then continues to move around the room.
well, I guess it's about time we leave, shall we?
Yes, please.
Upon going through the orange portal, we see
Gotta stand slightly like in the way and just look around, waiting for the two of them to go through.
somewhat more of the same. Two are moving about, but you notice something about the one to the far right of the room. You guys closed all the doors you were done with, correct? Did you leave them open?
I definitely would have closed them.
Okay. Well, all the doors are definitely closed, but you can hear somewhat of a whimpering coming from the rightmost room, where one of the guardians is looking. And she's sort of rubbing her like stony hands against the door, and then sort of moving off to the right and like feigning to sniff it.
So I nearly make it through the portal and stop when I hear the whimpering. Lekka, psst,
Yes, I hear it too, I think.
go check it out.
Sure.
You wait a second, you definitely hear some whimpering, yeah. Like I'm gonna follow with. As you get closer and closer to Lekka, it's definitely coming from this door.
Is something wrong? I'll ask the golem.
This door seems to be locked. I swear I saw someone enter earlier. I do not think they were invited.
I can probably check that out real quick with my golem.
It moves down a door and then pushes it open easily. And then moves back to this door, pushes on it, doesn't open, and says,
See, this one's locked.
Yes, definitely an issue.
it slowly knocks, just like tick, tick, tick.
Is anyone...
Well, I'm sure that whatever is in there was invited.
Please come out. Please come out.
The whimpering kind of goes, huh! And then the figure turns to you, Lekka, and then turns to the golem, then looks back to the door like, see, there's something in there.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
As a guest, you do not need to assist me in such a trivial matter. You may leave or use another one of the rooms if you wish.
For now, he's going to agree.
Okay.
He's going to go through the portal, like, I don't know, discuss with the other two. What should we do? I mean, we can't force open the door. They'll go through and probably kill whoever's in there.
Offer to talk to the interloper yourself and tell it to back away because they're afraid of it.
I mean, I guess. Do you think it'll listen, though? It didn't want my help.
I mean, emphasize that it won't come out as long as it's nearby. It should be that smart, right?
I mean, yeah, but what if it opens the door and then, I don't know, it immediately jumps in and kills it?
Well, I would open the door very slowly and slip in real quick. I mean, if you want, we can jump invisibility and I'll grab attention.
I mean, that also works, but I mean, there's two more of them, you know?
I'll just run through the portal and then keep running because clearly they go through the portal.
It's kind of weird that they can, actually. They didn't follow us.
Well, the top one probably followed us.
Yeah,
Go on. Be firm, Lekka. Be firm.
yeah, I guess. I'm going to try to persuade the golem to let me handle it. I implore you, as a guest.
Alrighty. With that, go ahead and roll me some persuasion. It looks to you, and the herald kind of walks over like, ah.
I should be good at this.
Actually, roll as a, I was gonna say roll with advantage, but that's a 17. The herald will play as your wingman. I'm like, you should listen to him. and he just kind of like motions to all of you and says, "What's there not to love?"
This thing.
The Guardian looks at you, Lekka. And what was your reasoning for letting you in instead?
It'll talk more to a like figure who's not trying to hurt it.
Okay. It sort of motions to itself and says,
Would my beauty scare it away?
Yes. Yes.
Definitely. I mean, we can't all be as pretty as, you.
Of course, of course. I do understand that some inferior beings are put off by our looks.
No one can see it, but I make a bleh face.
You know,
with that, it sort of gives you a nod and
we
just
wouldn't want to, scare off future guests if he truly is uninvited.
kind of gives you a fair enough nod, gives you a quick bow, Lekka, and then heads back over to one of its bars. You guys did notice as one was meandering about, as you guys kind of pulled through, and while you're talking to this one slinked through the yellow portal and went down to the second floor.
I guess we accidentally woke them up into prowl mode. My bad.
Yes. Maybe the two of you should go all the way downstairs and, I don't know, then I can use my invisibility on this other guy.
Are you...
and hopefully not get killed in the process. Stick around for a bit.
Yeah, we can stick around for a little bit.
I'm gonna knock on the door and go like, hey, you in there?
You just hear maybe muttering. You're not. It's definitely in common, but you don't know what he's saying. It's just fear. It's just like, oh, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away.
I'm not a golem.
Pauses. You hear some shuffling around, and then
you don't have to open the door yet if you don't trust me.
We're here to help, but we're limited on time.
We still have like 50 minutes left, but it's fine.
How many people are over there?
3.
3.
How did you? They're not attacking you?
We're invisible. Please let us in.
Oh, not me. I'm too perfect to be invisible. They don't remember me.
They like Lekka. I hate them so much.
2 questions. First, who are you?
My name's Sarabi.
The herald speaks up. Yeah, the herald speaks up and says, "This god
do-
before you, that you unfortunately cannot see, is named Lekka." Then Aldrin also introduces himself. The person on the other side waits and says, "How long have you been on this island, and who do you serve?"
Serve myself.
Well, I'm mostly a free man. I've been here for 2 weeks now?
So you're not working for Svarku or the lizard folk, the ogres?
Oh, God, no. I mean, we work with the ogres and the lizard folk, I guess.
We're friends with them, but
Don't work for them.
Okay,
Definitely not Svarku, though. Fuck him.
I agree. If I open the door, what do we do next? Is it far enough that we can run? What's the plan?
Look
We're
around.
gonna come in real quick.
These guys are pretty fast.
Correct. I don't know why they're active.
How many of you are in there?
It's just me. I've been coming here for a while. Whatever. Are you coming in or am I coming out?
I can only make 2 people invisible at the same time. And I currently already have 2 people invisible at the same time.
Let's go in to discuss a plan.
I mean, it's probably better if the 2 of you, I don't know, go out and then I can turn this guy invisible as well.
All right, we'll do it.
If you can distract him, I can run through the portal.
Oh, I can distract. I just don't know if I want to.
How many are out there?
There's one on the other side of the portal now as well.
Shit.
That's probably not a good idea.
Okay, we'll leave. Me and Aldrin will leave. Where do you want to meet up?
At the front entrance?
All right, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes to get there, and then I'm going to dispel the invisibility, so hurry up.
All right, see you later.
I'm assuming they're out of harm's way. I'll just drop concentration at a random moment.
All right. After given some time, the golems occasionally wave to you, Lekka, like everything's okay.
Yeah.
And they
How is like a gap in these doors, like underneath or something, or
a slight gap, yeah. It's real tiny.
can he stick his finger through it?
He can. Do you ask him to?
Yes, and I'm going to cast invisibility on his finger.
Okay, he's super confused at first,
Yeah.
but as he sneaks
I
his hand,
only have to touch him, I believe, so
yeah,
should be fine.
he puts his finger in. It doesn't fit all the way, but your claw's able to whoop his fingertip, and he just kind of whoop. You can feel that your spell is now active, and he's invisible. And with that, you just hear some shuffling on the other side, some clicks, and the door opens. You see a young man with sandy blonde hair, brown eyes, and he has a blade. He's wearing a light brown shirt, loose blue pants, a very oversized black leather belt that has a dagger on it. And he looks like he's been here for a while.
Yeah, we never asked you your name.
Oh, sorry. My name's Charlie.
Aha! I knew it!
That sounds familiar. Where did I hear it before? I'll think like a second as I walk to the portal.
Yeah, he's looking like...
Be quiet, by the way.
He would give you a look of let's go, but he's invisible, so...
As I walk through the portal, oh wait, you... What's her name's sister? Brother.
Yes. I cannot.
Ah. She's on the island, you know. She's looking for you.
He's trying his best to stay silent.
And I hope the golem isn't here. Well, it should be somewhere here, probably.
You hear it moving around, but you don't know where it is exactly.
Anyway, I just go downstairs.
As you head on downstairs, nothing really gets in your way. A few of the slimes, like on the way there, they give you a look of like, what's that thing? But other than that, they don't really chase after you or react anyway, mainly because you're pretty far from them, so.
Good. And I'll drop concentration the moment we go through the starfield.
Hi, what's your name?
Nice Rami, look what I found. It's Charlie.
What? Charlie? For real? I grab his shoulders. Do you know how long we've been looking for you?
Sorry, you both reacted the same way. What?
Can I whip
Well,
out?
we haven't been looking for you. Your sister has been looking for you.
Can I whip out the communication stone and call it?
Yeah, definitely. You haven't used it today.
Joni, Joni.
Takes a few seconds for someone to pick up. You hear a muffled voice. No real words initially, and then a clearing of the throat. And what?
Guess who we found? Say hello to your sister, Charlie. And I'll hold it out to him.
Oh shit! Is she seriously on the island? You weren't kidding?
Not kidding. Say hello.
Joni, is that actually? And before he can finish his sentence, Charlie, you little shit! Are you kidding me? And he's just like,
That's not like siblings.
Snicker.
I don't miss those days.
I don't want to know where you found him, where he was hiding. Shit, where should we meet up? Where are you all headed?
I'll tell you know where the nearest pool is.
All right, the the nearest pool is kind of far from where you guys are at, but not horribly
That's too
far.
bad.
We needed to go closer to the ocean, right?
It's 4 hexes away,
Yeah. 4 hexes in what direction?
southeast.
That's not the direction we want to go in.
It is somewhere you have not been yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where the hell does that put us? Is that somewhere like down the cliff?
Yeah, effectively, it's as far southeast as you can get. It's the edge of the island, basically.
Will she be able to make us the bracelets if we bring her there?
Probably.
Yeah, she can either do it here, since you guys are pretty close to the edge of the ocean, but if you want to bring her to this location that she can tell you about, then she can also do it there.
Sure, we can bring her there, because it's kind of better that she gets home sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah, and then you let Joni know to meet you all there?
Yeah.
All right.
I assume that they probably went to the city because that's what they said last time.
Ooh, yeah, we can meet up with them and ask them info about the city.
Yeah, her tone lets you know that they're definitely not there now. They left. They did come to this observatory at some point, but they probably didn't stay for very long. Her tone essentially says, yeah, it'll take us a second. You know, stuff has happened, but we can meet you there if you want.
I'll promise to take very good care of Charlie.
I'm sure he'll be just fine. He's been on the island for a while. Haven't you? Yeah, I can take care of myself. And she just kind of
Winky.
like scoffs.
I mean, you were kind of locked into a room, you know. I'm not sure.
Hey, drugs. And with that, she effectively hangs up and he nods and says, that was basically the reaction I was expecting.
You are not leaving our side. Do you hear me? I will smack you silly if you disappear.
I have a lot of questions, but I don't know if I have the time to ask them now.
The trip's a while. You'll have time to ask.
Fair enough. If you guys are friends with my sister, I can trust you. She's good people.
Yes, I do like her.
Yes, not like the wannabe hero in a party.
He's a little sketch, yes.
Definitely. Making deals with Svarku, please.
Oh, I guess we can talk about that later. Where to next? And he's kind of looking at Delphine of like, hi? And she sort of hides behind you guys a little bit. Like she started hiding until he saw her. And it's like, okay, the gig is up. And she kind of gives you guys a look of like, he's okay, right?
Yeah.
I nod.
I mean, wait, didn't you see him come in? You were waiting here, right?
She nods, but
Did
she was
just,
waiting.
like, hide?
Yeah, she was hiding somewhere.
Makes sense. I wouldn't trust him either. I wouldn't trust anyone on the side, honestly.
She very much doesn't trust anyone.
So, if I take a good look at Charlie, does he look a little crazy?
No. Tired.
Excellent.
Definitely tired. Not crazy though.
Does he look straight?
What do you mean?
Can she eat him?
Oh,
Yes! Can I eat him? I love that.
does he look straight? What kind of answer is that?
I mean,
You know
is
how
he
some people don't
interesting?
look straight.
Yeah. It's like he looks super straight. No, you can't tell.
What do you mean?
If you mean it, has he like checked you out once or twice? Yeah, he's looking at all of you, but his eyes definitely stop on you more than once, Sarabi, mainly because your garb is not common.
Excellent.
You realize you told his sister that you're going to take good care of him, right?
That can mean a multitude of things.
Oh, yes, I know.
You know what? Whatever. I'm not going to complain about this.
When was the last time I ate?
That's not long ago.
You overate, and it was like 4 days ago.
Yeah. It was 5 days ago, so you were really close.
I mean, it's going to take us like half a day to get to the spot anyway.
Indeed.
That means I'm definitely starting to get hungry.
Probably. On that note, it is 4 p.m. Obviously, when we leave, the time will shift. The Herald looks to you, Lekka, as if, like, do you want me to go do my thing now, or am I coming with?
Yeah, you can probably start hacking away, cleaning up the tower a bit.
Excellent. And before he heads into the starfield, he turns to look at you all and says, hopefully, things will be up to your standard, Lekka. I highly doubt anything would ever be up to your standards, of course.
They
Nothing.
never are. I'm too perfect.
Understandable. I will
It's a
try.
pain, really. You get used to it.
I can't imagine such a heavy burden. Truly, I cannot. But I will try my best to not let you down.
You never do. You are a good herald.
Is there a way to contact him in case we don't want to go inside the tower again?
No, but that's fine.
All right.
If you're wondering, he lets you know that you can technically shout from outside. There are multiple windows. If you happen to be near one, he will come down to you guys.
Okay, that'll work.
I mean, I guess I can have Daniel come fly to you and have him coax you to my location if I need you.
That also works. Like I said, there are windows up to the 3rd floor, I think, so we could fly up there and just meh. Alrighty. And with that, he gives you all a bow, heads to the starfield, and goes to get to cleaning.
I like that guy. Gollum.
You better watch your head. It's looking a little big.
No, it's perfectly cobalt size.
No, it looks a little plus size. A little swole.
No, definitely perfect.
Oh man, with everything you're saying, Sarabi, the golem wants to say so many things, but he can't hear you. He's too far away.
He can sense the insults.
No, he can turn them all into wonderful compliments.
Oh, shush you.
Alrighty, and with that, are we just doing a straight beeline for that location?
I mean, how long did Jody think she was going to take to get there?
It'll take her a hot second. You guys are probably going to have to do a long rest before you get there, as it is 4, and it'll be around 12 or so when you do get there. So you guys can get to the 8 o'clock point, do a long rest, and then, get there at a normal time, and she'll be there.
Probably.
Sure.
And you guys do need to rest anyway, so. Alrighty, is there any route in particular you guys want to take on the way there to see anything you haven't seen, or?
I mean, it's probably not the best idea to go through the city at this point.
You do know entering the city is going to be quite perilous. Getting too close to it's definitely gonna be some strife, so.
I guess we'll try to, I don't know, scale this mountain down, or just jump down.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we can take the river with my canoe, assuming we can fit like 6 people in there.
Sure, so we'll go to HS20 first?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go over there. It'll be about 8.
Do we
Alrighty.
want to take a break on top or at the bottom of the cliff?
It'll be 8 when y'all get here, so up to you.
I feel like the top because it's a better viewpoint.
Yeah, makes sense.
Smart. Also, if you guys do decide to canoe it up, Charlie will and won't fit. Like, he kind of fits. Realistically, like, you're small,
I mean,
so that
Delphina
helps.
can swim probably, right?
Bingo! She does not need to go in the canoe. She'll swim alongside you guys.
Perfect.
If it's for, a long distance, she would prefer to not, but she definitely
I'm
can.
sure she's perfectly happy swimming again for the first time in 3,000 years.
Oh, yeah. Like, she definitely wants to swim, but don't ask her to do it too much. She wants to relax for now, at least. But she definitely chills in the water as we kind of have to relax here. I'll say she dips her feet in, but she dips her everything into the water and is happily doing circles and playing. And there's like a bank of like the river that just kind of widens out quite a bit and is very, very calm. And we can definitely take camp here.
I doodle her as much as possible.
Physically and metaphysically.
Just sketches, lots of sketches.
Excellent. Well, she does not mind being doodled, so she'll pose for you.
Ooh. An artist always loves a very happy model.
Yeah, I mean, she was a partier, so she's totally down with that.
Does she want to be painted like one of your French girls? So?
Maybe once or twice.
Alrighty, also we will run into one location before you guys can long rest. If you guys want to slap the long rest button now, you're more than welcome to do so. The first thing we shall see before sleep, just up ahead, the jungle will open up into a place of ancient trees, garden-like grounds in full bloom, and a small stream. There are 4 large basalt spheres that sit amidst a beautiful outcropping, running in a straight line from east to west. Some of them are about 100 feet apart. The easternmost sphere is 40 feet in diameter, with the size of each sphere decreasing by 10 feet, so 40, 30, 20, 10. And then there's a 5-foot tall trapezoid doorway that opens to darkness in each sphere's southern side. What the hell? That's a description. I think that's this thing over here with the skulls. Yes.
Okay.
Is it a doorway?
I mean, it has doorways, apparently.
Yeah, so if you guys want to look at it more, sorry, that was a really weird description. If you guys want to look at it more, you're more than welcome to do so. But we can rest first. Fully up to y'all.
I mean, it's only 8 p.m., right?
Yeah, I think we can look at it.
Alrighty. This is... Give me a second. This is really long.
It's going to be another Lapis Tower Adventure.
That tower was massive.
A lot of fun stuff in that.
Yeah, my bags are like super full.
Yes, and Lekka has a new sense of dread,
What do you mean?
knowing what's gonna happen if he eats more Sapopa.
Oh, yeah, but that'll be a ton of Sapopa.
I mean, still, I'm already addicted to its stuff.
Just resist.
I mean, I am. If you could read his mind, he's literally doing the SpongeBob thing where he goes, I don't need it. I don't need it.
Oh no. I'm sure back home there's probably a super talented alchemist that can help with that.
Yeah, let me just, I don't know, get my 9th level wish spell.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would work too.
I'll wish my addiction away.
That's a little desperate.
Dear God, sorry, that was like a 4-paragraph description. And this font is really small, so I had to lean forward. Okay. Sorry. Alrighty. So to quickly describe this, there's 4 spheres made of basalt. They have a 5-foot trapezoid doorway into each of them.
So they are doorways.
Correct, yes.
Are they like portal doorways or actual door, knock on wood door?
Literal door. You can see inside them.
I take a peek inside one.
You see pitch blackness. No light reflects inside this orb.
What about your light, Eldred?
He shines his light in. Nothing. Eats it up instantly.
Well, damn, that's some darkness.
Next door?
They all respond in the same way, depending on the one you started on. The room is just smaller, obviously, because it's a smaller sphere.
Hey, Lekka. How much do you like your bird?
I mean, he can't die, right?
Slow
Swap.
nod? Like, what are we planning?
Take a peek inside.
All right, which one do you want me to go in? There's the 40-foot one all the way down to the 10-foot one.
I mean, you're the curious one. Your pick.
All right, he will pick the second one. All right, Daniel flies into the second orb. As he does, the doorway slams behind him, leaving no seam whatsoever. Inside, stuff is going to happen.
Can you still feel Daniel, Lekka?
I should be able to speak with him still, assuming he isn't like teleported to a different realm.
You no longer feel him at all.
Well, shit, he's dead.
He's not dead. When you lose your connection with him and he dies, you can feel it. Or like
Alright.
loses HP and is unsummoned, you can feel it. When you lose your like telepathic connection, you can also feel that. That's what this feels like.
I walk around the opposite side of the doorway.
I'll knock on the door. You all right in there?
No sound returns. After a moment, the door opens and Daniel kind of flumbles on out. And it's like looking around like,
Are you okay, Daniel?
He looks back to the orb and then slowly nods. And
What
then
happened?
perches back on Lekka's shoulder. Oh God, you ask what happens and he gives you a look of like, I can't describe.
Is it something bad or?
No, it's he takes his wings and motions to his mind, his bird brain, and like big brain. It's like a vision. It's just a lot going on, like emotionally.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Think we should avoid those doors for now. Yes.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Then you try it. I'm not that curious.
Sure, I'll walk in.
Okay, which one do you walk in?
Oh my god, no,
Too late. The same one that Daniel went in.
So heading into the 20-foot orb. Once again, you lose your telepathic connection with Daniel. On the outside, Sarabi, you see the same thing. The door seals, and the seam is completely gone. It is a perfectly flat basalt sphere, just kind of floating there. Lekka, on the inside, it is 100% pitch black. You don't have anything on you that would light, right?
I mean, aside from the spell light, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't use that until I hear or see something. Well, I can't see, but you know.
There's nowhere to sit down, but if you put your hands out, you can feel where the walls would be. There's no sound coming from the outside. The second you enter, the hum of the jungle is completely cut off. After, I want to say about a minute, I guess the question, are you claustrophobic?
I mean, how long did Daniel spend inside there?
About a minute, like 2
Makes
tops.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably isn't claustrophobic considering the fact that, you know, he's a kobold. He spent a lot of time alone in a cave. Well, not alone technically, but, you know, in complete darkness.
Yeah. So as you wait approximately a minute, suddenly the interior wall illuminates with a triangle. And while it produces light, it's produced in a way that is wholly unique. It's only illuminating the immediate area, and anywhere beyond, the darkness immediately consumes said light. So you can only see this triangle. You would have to get really close for it to illuminate any part of you, Lekka, almost touching it. So it's not producing light outward to you.
Oh.
Under it,
No.
you see elvish runes dancing along this triangle.
Too bad I can't read those.
Under that, you see the number 100, and then it begins to count down. Oh, I apologize. On the outside, you guys would have seen this number. So, Sarabi, you see the number 100 as well. And every second, it counts down by 1. Lekka, go ahead and roll me a wisdom save. We need to beat a 12. Funny,
Does
perfect.
a 20 do?
I think it do.
Oh, it's a suicide boost. Nice.
How do you want to go?
Flagellation.
Excellent. And you focus and focus. And after a few moments, Sarabi and Lekka, this number resets back up to 100. Another triangle lights up, and this one has the 100 under it now. And again, I'll ask you for another save. This time it'll be 13.
Oh boy.
Your
Number 13.
Your focus begins to break for a second. How do you respond to this general sensation, Lekka? What are you thinking right now?
More so like confusion about what exactly is going on. Am I supposed to keep concentrating or something? Or something gonna happen if it ticks down to 100? Is it a game?
You're not sure.
Just random questions going through his mind at this point.
Yeah. Do you decide to focus on like the numbers, on yourself? Like, well, what's your immediate response?
Like, what exactly did he do to get the first number to reset?
Your mind felt clear. No panic, no real confusion. You just kind of waited, and that kind of just happened.
I guess you're gonna sit down and try to clear his mind again.
Go ahead and roll me the same save, same 13.
No, he can't.
You begin to try to clear your mind, and another one of the triangles comes up, number ready and primed. But you hear a voice getting closer and closer to your ear, Lekka. Can't make out the words initially, but it's a voice filled with doubt and fear. And it gets louder and louder and begins surrounding you and just fully encompassing you. For a brief moment, you kind of pop open one of your eyes, and within one of these triangles, you see your face distorted and twisted. And unfortunately, it breaks your concentration for a moment, and the door opens. You can see the light from the outside, but it illuminates nothing. All the triangles are gone and off, and the number on the outside resets to 0 and then fades.
Well, that was weird, and I just walk out.
You see more runes. Let's see, the runes are... there's more runes on the outside, and Aldrin kind of leans forward, and after a second, determines that it reads, "Return when you seek peace."
What is it, like a deprivation container or something?
Similar.
So, sounds like it, yeah.
I'm definitely not going in there. I'm pretty sure I'd panic.
I mean, would probably sleep great in there, honestly.
Maybe you would, but I need noise
Yeah, sure. I mean,
and sensations.
We're at the bottom of the waterfall. There's plenty of noise here.
Perfect.
I also will say, like,
Alright.
you did hear a voice that was not yours, and a deep rumbling before you were kicked out.
Also, someone was screaming in my ear in there, by the way. But only when my concentration was breaking.
Alrighty. And
Do you have any idea what the hell this is, Delphina?
she looks at them real quick and kind of like, points to Sarabi and says, "I think she had the idea. I'm not sure if these were here. Were they? Gods, I don't remember. I want to say yes. I think from what I heard about them, people would meditate in these, I think, at least. And the bigger one, more people chose that one. It was easier, apparently. The others are louder for whatever reason."
Interesting.
But at least I lasted longer than you, Daniel.
Oh, poor bud.
He turns up his chin and kind of looks
I was
away.
just teasing him.
Like, whatever. I was having an off day.
I think you did fantastic,
It's
Daniel.
fine. I started off great and then I just crumbled.
Alrighty, well, with that, you're all welcome to slap that long rest button.
As I lay down yet another tiny hut.
So we're going to sleep, right?
Indeed. It's going to be when we wake up.
Before we go to sleep,
Yes.
can I attempt to seduce Charlie?
Not in my tiny hut.
I mean, outside the hut, obviously.
You may definitely attempt. What are you trying? What are you leading with? You just met the kid.
So how long since you have seen a woman?
Pretty much, yes.
Fair enough. Okay.
Terrible. How old is Charlie even?
And I'll do it with very few words. It's going to be mostly looks and glances and nibbled lip.
Okay. That definitely works. Delphina's watching very interested. Like, let's see how this plays out.
Oh my god.
I mean, she's probably seen plenty of that in the tower.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and roll me persuasion.
How desperate is he?
Alrighty. With all that, Sarabi, he definitely gives you a look of like, I might just be interested. But he kind of looks at his surroundings as if to say, like, you got 3 of your friends here, a tiny hut, and we're in the middle of the jungle. I'm not sure if I'm that desperate, unless they're into that. He's kind of confused.
Like as making back facial expressions saying, no, we're not.
Alrighty, he's relieved, but essentially he gives you the tone, Sarabi, of yes, but not right now.
I will pout. Okay, I'll take a rain check.
Unless you have your own tiny hut or some bushes to hide behind or something.
I mean, you can
We
take
definitely
the
have
sensory,
bushes.
You can take the sensory deprivation chamber.
N- that would be a weird experience.
But good weird, right?
Could you still feel your fingertips in there?
Yeah, I could feel everything. I was just, trying to focus on something. Then worst case scenario, you never come out.
That's really not a bad idea. No distractions. Anyway, I was going to suggest a bush first. I wasn't going to do it in front of everyone.
You'll
How
leave
many
it up to
tiny
you.
huts can I have up at the same time?
Just one, I would assume, right?
Yeah, is it
Not
concentration?
No, it shouldn't be. It's like 8 hours, right?
Oh, wait, but doesn't the cash have to be inside it?
Yeah, but I can leave. Oh, no, I can't leave. Damn it.
I say, considering you can't leave, that kind of throws it out the window.
All right, I'll take my rain check. Since this boy doesn't want to do it in the bushes.
It's a little weird. There's like animals and shit that are probably going to kill you. The bush might kill you.
I mean, you can.
I can't deny that.
I mean, just check the waterfall for like a secret cave behind it.
It's a good idea. I go do that.
Wouldn't that be romantic?
Sure. Let's see. Roll me perception or survival, your choice. Low DC of like 10.
She slips and falls and breaks her neck.
All right. Unfortunately, you're not able to find a location for you and Charlie.
All right. He was interested. That's all that matters.
No, he's interested. It's just, you're coming off really strong and we're in the middle of the jungle.
I'm about to get desperate. It's going to be day 6 tomorrow.
Is it a desperate position?
Yeah?
I mean, you did eat extra, so.
True, but I don't usually go without meals this long.
She gets dumb.
Bummer.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Rude.
Alrighty. Seeing as the tiny hut is fairly small, Delphina can sleep in the water or sleep off to the side. But we wake. It is 4 a.m. Well rested. Spell slots back. In case we need to invisible away somewhere. Where do we wish to head next?
Worry until I get to the, 7th level spells and get Mordekaiser's mansion or whatever it's called.
Oh, that thing's so dumb.
That thing is massive. It's literally a mansion in a bottle or something.
Yeah, it's hilarious. All right, what say we?
Towards, I guess, south again.
Southeast was it, right?
You want to go to the one we haven't seen yet?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
is
haven't seen
it
either of these?
is it east from there or east from where we are now?
It is southeast one and then east one more. It is literally the furthest one.
Then yeah, let's go south.
Look, there's birds.
Oh, Daniel, it's your kind.
I know those
Go
guys.
play with your friends.
Those guys are jerks.
I mean, if we're going along the coast, then Daniel's definitely gonna play with the local seagulls, I guess.
Oh, 100%. While he's keeping a lookout, gonna do his absolute best to make sure y'all safe. Alrighty, we are moving into HS24. Upon moving southward, we trek through some light jungle area. It really isn't too bad, fortunately. And we come across a thick bank of fog, nearly 4 feet deep, and it's completely covering soft jungle floor in a rather large clearing. Upon getting closer, you can see 2 large trees with a cluster of bright orange flowers, not Sipopa, and a number of decently sized boulders that stick up through the fog, their surfaces glistening with moisture. The air here is hotter and wetter than most of the jungle, and a quiet bubbling can be heard from somewhere nearby.
Quite bubbling, huh? I want to follow the sound.
I mean, it's called Hot Spring Island. There's supposed to be a hot spring somewhere.
As you move through this thick fog, before you fall in, you come across a pool of, unsurprising, scathing water. Takes a second for your eyes to adjust, but it looks to be about 20 feet in diameter. Very hard to tell how deep it is, considering all the fog, but it's bubbling quietly beneath said fog, with steam rising from the pool, completely obscuring all the ground at all times. It's really, really, really heavy. You have to be completely focused, staring at a location just to see it. If you do focus, you won't trip over all the rocks and the roots and the bones of some people that have maybe fallen in and or died close by to a predator.
All right, maybe this is a bit too hot.
I was about to say.
Does it smell sulfuric at all?
It does not, but upon getting a
At least it's
little
not
bit
volcanic.
Yeah, upon getting a little bit closer, y'all can tell this is not, it's not just hot, it is legitimately scalding. If you fell in here, it would probably cook you.
I let out a long, depressed sigh.
You can see various colonies of bright blue-green algae around the area on the rocks.
It might be a hot spring from someone with like fire resistance, I guess.
So there are some plants. Do you guys give any of them a poke?
Yes.
I'll
I've
say
been poking every single flower I come across at this point.
excellent. The tree itself stands out quite a bit. It looks I'll just say weird. Primarily the tree itself looks the most interesting, I would say. You also see, off in the distance, some of these boys. Two of them are kind of button heads. Not full on fighting.
What are those things again?
I don't think you learned the name of it.
I mean, we saw them doing things.
Yes.
Yeah, were they the things by the baby making rock?
Yep. You see two of them just kind of button heads. And then the tree itself looks like that there.
That's
it has
a weird looking tree.
Incredibly. It has large, fuzzy, white leaves.
That's
And
not a tree.
This is a tree.
That's something wrapped around a tree.
This is definitely a tree.
That is definitely not a tree. Can I pick up a rock and throw it at the tree?
You
It's a treant.
very much can. Lekka, go ahead and
I assume you're a herbalism kit, right?
yes, but you're now proficient with it. So
Nice.
go ahead and roll that bad boy. 30, a 14. As you get closer, Sarabi's rock kind of bounces off this tree. You see fuzzy white leaves and branches that, as one is struck, begins to seep this waxy purple goo.
Does the goo do anything?
Very much so. What do you do to the goo?
I mean, at this point, it's just dripping down, right?
Slowly. Yeah, very slowly.
Like, does it, I don't know, do anything when it hits the ground? Sizzle or something? Is it even hitting the ground?
No, it's just slowly leaking out from the tree. Like a singular tear because one of you whacked it.
I don't trust this tree.
How wooed.
I sniff it.
All right.
I've learned from my mistake. I'm not going to put it in my mouth yet.
The goo smells lightly sweet, and upon closer inspection, it has a very wax-like sheen to it, and it kind of solidifies pretty quickly after being exposed to air. Not full on, but it grows a little like crust.
Like it's like, what do you call it? Like feeling the texture between his fingers, and you'll notice that he can't open his fingers anymore. Ow.
I say, when you touch it, you realize that this can definitely be used for something. Like it's a pretty firm bonding agent, but it would need something to be added to it first in order to function the way we want it to. But it could function like a putty, or maybe something to seal up a wound, or something of that variety.
Definitely useful. I mean, I'm gonna experiment, I guess, and try a bit of every other kind of herb I found. See how they react together.
I'd say upon mixing a few things together, since we got a couple of these bad boys sitting here, you're able to get some form of mixture if you add a little bit of water and kind of like stir it up. Your skin's kind of itchy after you touched it. You think maybe it's best not to touch it. It didn't like burn anything, but you're kind of really odd.
I'm used to this itchiness at this point, honestly.
Yeah, this is a new itch though, and we already have one itch, so we don't need any more.
I mean, is this itch better than the other itch?
This one could be more worrying, possibly. You're not sure though. You didn't touch it for long enough, but you're able to.
I'm not going to slather myself in it.
Probably not. No, you're able to get a decent little putty that you're able to kind of like get mixed up together here. It takes you a hot second, but this could definitely be used to seal something. And Charlie kind of looks at you, and he's watching the perimeter to make sure nothing comes up to us with his weapon like half drawn. He turns back to look at you, Lekka. He's like, "What are you doing there?"
Just checking what this stuff is, how I can use it.
Squints and looks at it and goes,
worth anything?
"Oh, yeah, that's definitely worth something. From what I've seen, it's got a multitude of uses. One way is actually what you did there. Different, mixes, of course, but that one definitely works. If you get some sort of like large cut on an arm or leg or something, that can actually be used to seal it, like full on seal it. It can, I guess, depending on the composition and such, remold into your flesh and basically seal it up like permanently."
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a good idea?
No, that's the bad part. There is, from what I've gathered, I've used it. He pulls his sleeve up, and you can see there's like a cut on his forearm, but it's slightly discolored. He's like, "That's not a scar. I use that stuff there."
So this is a tree. Can I, does it have seeds?
Does it have now a permanent itch in your leg?
No, but he's like trying to think. He's like, "Shit, where was it?" He pulls it back and shows you the back of his left hand, and the skin there looks burnt, melted. Says, "Right here. I got another cut, but I don't know. I guess I mixed it wrong. It started melting my skin. So just be careful when you use it."
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it can seal wounds, but there's a apparently percent chance that it does this instead. So be careful.
Still useful. I'm going to take some with me.
Does it have any seeds?
Definitely.
I take several.
Seeds.
As a future healer, this is interesting.
Speaking of seeds, I would probably pop a random amount of seeds that I have on me in the seed dish.
It's called a wax tree. So you got to be careful with the seed dish, obviously. It's got to be upright. It doesn't have a lid. I don't think it had a lid.
I don't think so either.
So as long as it's upright the whole time, the seeds don't fall out, you're set in gravy. And we're not like climbing or running or doing flips, so we're good.
Also, don't want to drop the big insta-kill flower seed.
Indeed. All right, other than that, do we continue eastward?
If there's nothing else of note here, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right, well, I can reveal this whole back chunk now. Yay, look at all these cute little fish people. Aren't they adorable? I like the little ones swimming.
Oh my god, it's more water people.
Water, wind, water, wind, water, water, wind, water, wind, water. All right, it will be about noon by the time we arrive. Delphina will indeed lead the way as we move to HS25. And she will lead us directly to the secret location that we seek as we head on through the furthest we've been, this side of the island. Over to our right, among some stone and such, we can see what seems to be an earth elemental. Once again, attempting to maybe make a friend. Not actually creating life, but just sort of sculpting another humanoid creature out of stone. And then he kind of looking at it and going like, is that good enough? Yeah, I'll try this one. He kind of turns it a bit, like makes the nose a bit bigger and goes, is that good enough? And goes, and then keeps trying. Just kind of over and over, just slowly fixing things.
Man, this island sure has a lot of elementals. I say to Daniel.
He nods as he kind of does a circle around that one. It looks up at him and then gives a little wave. And then he kind of flies back over to where you are. And she leads you to a river. This river is about 150 feet across and leads all the way to the edge of a sheer cliff that we know will pour into the ocean below. About 50 feet away from said river, there is a tree line. Yields to ground covered in very, very, very thick carpet of weeds. And then there's a clump of trees that stand at the river's western bank just before the falls. She kind of points over that direction and says, presuming nothing changed throughout all these years, we have our little secret hidden near the bottom there. Although I'm not entirely sure how all of us will get down easily. You're good at climbing, right?
Is there ground down there?
Maybe.
There's
Yeah.
water. It drops about 300 or so feet, so it's a pretty far drop.
Oh,
that's
Aldrin,
fine.
Aldrin, are you good at climbing?
Why climb? We can jump.
Narrow eyes, then nod, yes.
Wait, are we jumping or are you going to do your elevator again?
I don't think it technically works like that.
Damn it. I'm going to transform and hop on Aldrin's
mean-
shoulders.
We can just jump off and I can feather fall us.
Yeah, feather probably this way, because normal falling will kill you.
Oh, can I still transform?
Yeah, of course.
I want to feel the wind through my fur.
Looking up ahead, the weeds that I mentioned, as you guys are kind of contemplating how to get down, you can see that they are writhing. It looks like they're moving, almost as if they're flowing both over the edge and towards you guys. Not like aggressively towards you, but in all directions.
Is it like there's basically a cave there and wind is flowing out or something? Or
No. Upon closer inspection, it looks like this plant is growing and dying so fast, it looks like it's moving.
interesting.
Yeah, it grows forward and then the end like rots. It's slow, but it's fast enough to be concerning to look at.
Hey, Delphina, is that normal?
Yeah, it's normal. Don't ask me
Well,
why they
okay
do that,
then.
but they do that.
I swear this entire island is crazy.
Yeah, a little. And then I think you guys have seen them before, the papery ash-covered bark trees that are kind of far off.
I think, yes, I think Sarabi took like a shit out of paper from those, right?
Yeah, I think so.
From
Oh,
paper
yeah,
trees.
probably. Oh my god, what are these guys?
Birds?
Seagulls.
Oh, the lizard folk.
Why are they in the water?
Because they're swimming to the island?
They look so cute.
I mean, there's also a few in the north.
Yeah, that's how they got here. They swam here. I think those are the Kiru because they're blue. And those are
Aw.
probably the Goa because they're green.
Oh. So, how long do your people usually live, Delphina?
I think I answered before. It depends on our power. Depends how we, connect to the world around us. If we don't go crazy. Long enough.
Do you think there's anyone left on this island you know?
Probably not. It's been a while, and I hope any that were remaining would have left or gone back to their home.
Well, there's at least one still here, north of the island, northwest.
Yes, but make sure you don't tell any of the other ones about them. Her.
What, is she hiding from her own kind?
Apparently.
Oh, shit, sorry.
I mean, we already told Delphine at this point, I believe.
Yeah, and she is aware of the location, but does not know who would be hiding there. It wasn't a place for someone to hide. It was more like a location for people to just go.
What did she say again about the fountain thing she was protecting?
I assume she was protecting it from her own kind. Sorry, from not her own kind, everyone else.
But why would she be doing that under the ogre village then? I'm pretty sure the ogres knew about her, and she doesn't want.
It
her
is
own
near the
people.
ogre village.
Yeah, but she doesn't want her own people to know about her?
There might be something going on this island with this particular race that we don't know about.
There's a lot of things going on this island, so yeah, probably.
High possibility.
No, either way, I'm not gonna tell the other ones about her.
And as you guys are kind of looking over the edge and looking at this strange plant as we're all just kind of chilling here, before we jump and create ourselves over this waterfall, we wait just a bit. Charlie's kind of looking around, just trying to figure things out. Do I go left? Do we go right? Do I climb up here and kind of wave Joni down? When do we meet her here? After chilling for like maybe 10 or so minutes, just over the horizon, you guys can tell Charlie definitely sees Joni and crew, kind of gives them a wave and motions to you guys like, they're here. So y'all get ready. And Delphine asks you guys one more time. She's like, you sure they're cool?
Yeah.
Now's a bad time to be deciding this.
A few of them. A few of them are cool, but you can hide behind me if you're not sure.
Okay. Well, to be really clear before they get here, this is a super, super secret that no one is allowed to know. So I'll let you know what I decide after we speak with them. But I'm only showing this to, well, the 3-4 of you. Charlie, keep this to yourself, by the way. I didn't say anything, right? And she's smiling at him. He's like, yeah, sure. And with that, Joni and crew come around the corner. They're, of course, missing a few folk from last time. She looks super tired, winded from their little adventure on the way here. But she smiles, runs up to Charlie, gives him a really tight hug. He hugs her back. She gives him a look of like, I will kill you later. And he's just kind of like, hey, I know. And she runs over to you, Lekka, and so Sarabi and Aldrin, and says, I don't care where you found him. I'm not going to... Honestly, it doesn't matter. The fact that he's still alive, we're reunited. God, it's been so long. Thank you.
I would trust him whatever he says, though, because boy gets around the island.
Well, he's been here longer than all of us. So that sounds about right. We are, by the way, Charlie, trying to leave this island, both their group and ours. Before you say anything, he was like putting his hand out. We're where we can't leave. There must be a way, though. There has to be with this island. There's enough of us on here that are currently alive that we can figure it out, right?
I mean,
Absolutely.
We already know that there is something specifically, apparently, preventing us from leaving this island.
Oh, yeah. The golem mentioned interference.
We just don't know what it is or where it is. Well, we can assume that it's, pointing at the volcano.
She nods. As if like, yeah, it's probably, yeah. And looking to all of you, she says, well, what are our plans now? What are you all going to do? Obviously, Charlie's, you're coming with me.
Let's have a talk. Catch up. What'd you find? What'd you do? Who'd you talk to? Are you hungry? I have some jerky.
Oh, okay. We can rest here if you'd like. Sure. I mean, it has been definitely quite some time. Do you want to set up camp?
Sounds great.
Perfect. And with that, your group begins to set up camp. I'll let you know who's part of Joni's group, because obviously initially there was like 10 people. There are definitely fewer now, and I'll further solidify who's where next week. Also, wonderful news. When you guys hit your long rest, you leveled.
Oh my
man.
God.
So please, become level 6.
Can I level down instead now?
Can I roll minimum HP, please?